This ain't no joke, this ain't no game. This that CSZ game. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55, what's goody? Kill the vibe, how could he? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just no podcast. The mother shows spread fake news. We just call them broadcast. Wes, Joey, Sam, Shawn, Dawson. And you know that boy Higgy. He said he don't want no small fries. Tell them they better make them biggie. Yeah, you already know what we be on. We got the crown, we hold the throne. We throw the mails and you take them home. When they ring the bells, you know that it's home. The bar set, we setting the tone. If we set it, then set it in stone. Sit in the seat, set up your phone. You in the Cardinal sports zone.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's highly anticipated episode of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. We're coming to you live once again from the Four Peg Studios. This is the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wallman. Today we have an esteemed selection of co-hosts for the day, and we're very happy that everybody was able to join us today. Our guy Dalton is out on location doing something today. He'll be on with Live with 55 with me and Wes this week. But who we do have here today, first off, Higgy's fired because he still hadn't gotten me the rapid fire for this week. So Higgy, if you're listening, you're fired. But who is here today? First off, it is our football beat writer. It's our women's basketball beat writer. He is the guy. Wait a minute. Is there anybody in the room with you, Sam?
No. Just
he is the Casanova of Kentucky, and the man who lays it down. Never mind. I'm gonna leave that part alone. But it's our guy.
There's the flag,
West. Throw the flag. It's our guy, Sam Basin. Sam, what's good, bro?
What's up, everybody?
And joining him on the double cam, underneath me, it's our guys. It is the man with the plan to stay single as long as he can. It's our guy, Shawn Barber.
How you going? Celibate Shawn.
Celibate. And the absolute opposite in every manner: height, weight,
body count,
smoothness, body, just all in every aspect possible.
White Wilt. What's up, guys?
It is White Wilt. It's Joe Wallman, my little brother, my little big brother.
What's up?
And last but not least, he's got the keys to sanity, the keys to victory, and the keys that he actually brushed his hair this week. It's our man, Wes Keyes. What's good, bro?
What's happening, yeah?
Brusher Raymond in the house. We appreciate it. Listen, we're going to have a good show today. Let's get the chat line caught up before we get into the rest of it. And if anybody's – I know the baseball game's on behind me as Uncle Larry threw me off last week. Or not Uncle Larry, Robbie, though, did. Keep us updated. I know we started off pretty slow in all three games. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Chad Brocky, how's things going? Let's throw some of these comments up. I know I always say them, but I know some people like to see their name on here, so we're going to throw it up. Our guy Brian McGlasson says, "What's up, everybody?" One of my favorite people. Why did it rotate? It rotated a little bit. Oh, there, I got it. Dwayne, what's good, Card family? Premium subscriber Corey Massey, what's up? I got Cardinal, the wingmaster. I still haven't even got a little bit of that. I need some. With the eyes emoji. Desmond Works from YouTube. What's up? What's good, family? What's good? Brandon Johnson, what's good, fella? Look, we got some good info. We got some early information. We're going to speculate a little bit on the next coach. We're going to do a whole lot more. The name of this week's episode is clearly, it's simply broken-pain reliever. And we're going to relieve ourselves from a lot of the pain. I think you know how that's spelled, too.
Wait, hold on. Shawn, let's explain that to Shawn real quick.
Oh, what? Broken, pain, or reliever? Because I'm sure he's not done. Okay. So, Shawn, never mind. Daniel Garcia, you know who I want. Absolutely, I know who you want. And I need you to text me with that information about that. The guy I think is the fifth candidate. I think they've got it narrowed down to 4. I'll tell you who they are. 2 of them are on opposite sides of the spectrum of I don't believe there's any chance we touch them. One in a good way, one in a risky way. We'll go over that in a little bit. New subscriber, said Desmond. Well, welcome to the channel. we all appreciate your support and appreciate you hopping in here with us. Cardinal says, man, we need to get them pounds down first. Look, I've lost 11 this week. I'm going to lose the other 44 before May the 1st. We're going to get that cracking. But I can eat some chicken, man. That chicken is high in protein and low in calories.
Oh, yeah.
I could throw that down. So let's do it. Premium subscriber Corey Massey. Did I see that Jay Wright was looking for bought a house in Louisville? No, I don't think you. Well, he may have. He's got ties here. I don't know. Cashmere Mitchell wants to know, so what's the temperature on the team going forward? We'll talk about that. Brandon Johnson's a part of the Wade Brigade. Oh, I forgot to mute my phone. Oh, it's the text I just asked for. Okay, fair enough. Also, my guy, Scott Clark, he's going to come on the show here in a couple of weeks when he's able to. Want to let all of you all know he knows that the seasons haven't been smooth, but the season hasn't been smooth, but he wants to know how much he appreciates and loves all of your all's support. He wanted to make sure I said that. But Steven says, what's good, fellas? Robbie Dull, our baseball update guy for the chat. Hey, CSZ family. Cardon, good stuff. Antron wants to know. My guy, Antron, my sleeper agent says, what's good, CSZ gang? There's a lot good. There's a lot that's not good. Really quick. Don't forget the Mossy Oak chat line is open. Mossy Oak Properties and Hart Realties. They're America's land specialists. We'll talk a little bit about them more. We'll talk more about them a little bit later in the program. Good people. They support the show. But don't forget that chat line is open. Y'all are burning it up already. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or however, send your questions on social media. Check the graphic to see how you can follow the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast on social media and how to help support the podcast monetarily. And hit that thumbs up while you're in here on YouTube. Make sure you're watching on YouTube. It will help us out more. Marcus Maven with a $50 donation to the show, man. We love you, Marcus, and we appreciate that. We got a run on the board. 5-1, top of the 7th, Northwestern. Maven with big. For those of y'all that don't know, me and Marcus we don't say ages or anything, but we have been friends since before he stepped foot on campus. Met at the Derby Classic, clicked instantly. Me, him, Lavelle Boyd, Tony Williams. We were up there. We were running things. Appreciate you tuning in. Top 5 right now, man. I'm not worthy. Actually, you should have said top 2. I'm not worthy of top 5, but I'm definitely top 2.
Congrats to his son.
Absolutely. Congrats to Jalen. He was named the
NFL Player Association president.
Absolutely. So shout out. Look, that's why he's in here dropping $50 bombs. He got that Jalen money now.
He got the highest the record contract for a special teams player. Special teams player. So big off season.
Absolutely. Look, me and Marcus, we have been friends forever. And I appreciate that. I've done that for him on his show a multitude of times. He's showing love back. So we appreciate that. There's a lot, as much negativity that's been around the last few weeks. There are still positive people. And I'm not going to go on name some names, because the second I name names, I'll forget one. And then Twitter will be like, well, you said this about this. No, I didn't say that about that. I am, in a way, and I've not even really started the show yet. Let me get the sponsor shout-outs out of the way, and then I'll go to my personal thoughts. Bear Nose Fitness Market, Four Pegs Beer Lounge, the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters, Cherry Picking, Shoot 360 in Mossy Oak. Appreciate all those sponsorships and what they do for the show. You can see them decorated around the timeline. Guys, I'm relieved, because you all know Kenny Payne, friend, Nolan Smith, brother. Now, I think Nolan absolutely will have a spot here at some point in the future. I don't know that the next coach is going to retain him. I don't know that the next coach is not going to. I still did not turn off the timer or the. Shut up, people. People only text me when, I swear, I've not had a text all day long. I'm relieved, though, because as many and I don't want to go into a lot of it because Nolan is going to be on our show in a couple of weeks. And in another couple of weeks, our guy, gosh, that's stupid. People still texting. I need to stop paying attention to that. Dominic Yates will be on the show with us in a few weeks too. Love that dude. He's always, not only do we have a good time on the TV, on the pod, however you want to put it together, but we text all the time. He's one of the genuinely good people in the media here in the area. But man, there's just been so many things where I have tried to be a good friend to KP, and I have presented him in a positive light. Even when my co-hosts have defecated on him, I have tried to stay positive, stay upbeat. I'm glad I don't have to. Now, I've always been honest and genuine with you all, but with him, I had to protect myself a little bit. And there's some things I couldn't come right out and say. Really quickly, I want to say what's up to our viewers on Facebook: Mike Murphy, Steve Franconia, again, Daniel Garcia. Yes, I know who you want. Ray Riggle, Steve Harvey, Cecil Whalen, Brent Kaufman in the building. And we'll get caught up on the chat line in a second. But I am relieved. And for those of y'all that are relieved about what? We still have a coach. Well, if you trust your sauces, as Higgy calls it, which, by the way, Higgy's still fired. I still don't have the rapid fire for today's show. But I was informed and then confirmed. It was confirmed after the game to me by a reliable source that Kenny accepted his buyout yesterday, and the Payne is over. So later in the show, I've got a couple words about Kenny I want to say, but personally, I'm glad that I don't have to, because there's sometimes when I felt a little inauthentic, and I don't like feeling that way because I'm not that way. But I was like, it's not too bad. We doubled our wins, this and that. But I love Kenny too much as a person. I'm glad I'm not going to have to give out that fake sauce anymore. And I'm excited for Nolan to take the next step in his journey, regardless if it's here or wherever. And I know the possibilities for his next step. I'm not going to put those out here. I'll let him do that. I'm not going to do it. But if there are any possibilities, that is, wink, wink. But I'm excited for Nolan as a friend. And for Kenny, this hasn't been easy for him. For those of y'all that think he has liked making our program look like a clown show, he hasn't. When he said yesterday, and I'm not taking up for him. Y'all are going to say, Jeremy, he's your friend. You're taking up for him. No, that's not the case. I've told y'all that if you've listened to this show for the last 2 years, I've told you all the narrative has always been when they got here, this place was broken. And it wasn't on a sports level. It was on the players and their psyche and things like that. We already know firsthand a bunch of players left because mentally they weren't stable enough and they were having mental health issues, as the kids call it these days. My mom and dad would have called it rub some dirt on it or go outside and just walk it off. But different day, different time. But there was a lot of stuff he didn't lie yesterday. There was a lot of stuff that was broken here. An established coach would have been able to probably fix that up a little quicker. Kenny was still learning. And I know the first comment is going to be, well, you don't learn on the job at U of L. It's a top 6 program of all time. You don't do that. Well, the problem is that, yes, it is a top 6 program of all time, but Kenny had never been a head coach before. Nobody else wanted the job here. We asked everybody we wanted. They all said no. There was even rumors that we were getting, if Kenny had said no, we were going to start interviewing assistant coaches elsewhere. And that would have really have gotten a nice little ovation from the fan base. So that's all I want to say about Kenny real quick. Sam, did you have any, and I'll talk a little bit more in detail later in the show about Kenny, but are you relieved that the next thing we touched on a little bit last week, but our next topic of discussion is going to be who's the next coach? Are you glad we knew that was going to be that way probably for about 3 months now, but are you glad to finally get to that point?
Yeah, even though it was kind of painful to get there, I wish it hadn't had to come this way this soon, but it's over with. I'm glad. I know that most of the fan, if not all of the fan base, is happy. Um, Now it's just time to focus our attention and energy on who is going to be next and how do we support them. So
Absolutely. And here's the thing that I am worried about is because our fan, not all of them, but there's a portion of our fan base that has become so toxic that if it's not Scott Drew, they're going to run the next guy out of town verbally every time they have a chance. Or we're going to hear, well, okay, we lost by 30, but at least we didn't lose by 40 like we did with Kenny. Kenny is going to be a big staple in the conversations for the next year to maybe forever. I don't know how long it's going to take to turn things around here. Let's get back to the chat. Joey, real quick.
I got a question for Sam real quick.
Oh, God.
After the game, he spent 30 minutes in the Cardinal Athletic store while we were standing out in the cold, and he's wearing a New York Yankees hat. And I know he bought a hat yesterday.
You got to dress for success, Sam. That just
come on, bro.
I did buy a hat yesterday.
Yep, a little disappointed right now, Sam. Dondi Brooks, Justin McCord, Curtis Quick in the building. Brent says 20% will not be happy no matter who we hire. I think it's a little bit. I'm going to tell you why I think when I give y'all the list that I truly believe. I was sent this yesterday evening from somebody who is a donor, and I believe that this is the list 1,000%. No Steve Rummage. Bob Huggins is not on that. I've been messing with him all week and telling him Bob Huggins was going to be on the final list. He's like, no, I hate Bob Huggins. And I know Marcus loves Bob Huggins. So I almost kind of want Bob Huggins just to make Steve a little bit angry.
He's old.
It is what it is. Well, Jerome Tang's like 58, 57.
That's not old, coach. Bob Huggins is in his 70s, if not close to it.
Yeah, but
58's young. You used to got Patino's 75, 76 is still coaching. He got 20 years with a 58-year-old.
Fair enough.
Tang is young-spirited, too.
Listen, Cashmere, I'm going to need you to DM me and let me know what you heard and see if it lines up with what I heard. He says he worked security for the team last night, as he always does, and heard some grumblings going on. Won't say all I heard was good or bad or whatever. We shall see. Maven with the love. Maven, what's up? What's good, Maven? Look, he's just getting me back because whenever I hop on his show like I did the other night, it's 55, Jeremy, hey, what's going on? And I know it aggravates him a little bit, even though it shouldn't, because he's my brother. We love each other, and it is what it is. But now I see why he kind of gets aggravated, because here we go. The next 10 comments after that. Marcus Maven in the building. Big Guap Maven. Maven dropping bombs. Hope everyone's good. My only thought, no Mick. Robbie goes on to say highest paid special teams player and the president of the union now. This just goes to show how far we get behind, because so many people write at once. I apologize. Well, I don't apologize. Keep it up. Meezy says negativity has been tiresome. Antron Mazden says, what's up, 5? Dropping NLFPA president bags. That's what I was saying. Meezy said, after Kentucky Wesleyan, we knew what it is. No reason to keep the negativity going. Brother to brother, what's good, man? Justin McCord, what's good? Let's throw some of these up on the screen again. I don't know why I keep doing that. Well, it's hard to do everything at once. So, what's good, CSZ family? Robbie says, women lacrosse down BC 17-13. Oof. Absolutely. Nobody wanted this job. And you're welcome, Easy. KP and Nolan are family, and there's nothing wrong with taking up for family. Again, if that's something Nolan wants to address after the season, I can tell. The only thing I will say is that things are not as tight family-wise between those two as they were at the beginning. There's a lot of things that have went down, but I'm going to let him speak. I'm going to let him talk his talk and tell y'all what he wants to and what he don't. We'll keep quiet. Meezy said no one wanted it in the middle of the season. We got to be realistic. I mean, it wouldn't have benefited us to make. I mean, the only way it would have benefited us to make that is if we were going to hand the reins over to Nolan or Danny or both to finish the season off. Shawn, really quick, I'm going to put some of these comments up on the board while Shawn's talking, so that way you can see them. It's not that I want to say y'all's names out loud. It's just that it makes the show roll along a little bit quicker. So, Shawn, your opinion and thoughts on everything. Ryan Griffin, Pops Griffin in the building. What's good, my man? Appreciate you. You need to hop in here sometime. We could talk spring football here in a few weeks. But Shawn, while I put these comments up on the board, go ahead and let everybody know our sponsor, Mossy Oak Properties and Heart Realty in the building says, hey, crew, tell us your thoughts on the whole situation as far as, because I know a lot of people just want to hate Kenny for the last 2 years, but at the end of the day, he come in to do something that nobody else was going to do. I was afraid it was going to go one of two ways. Either he was going to get – now, we were, again, a little bit of stuff in behind the scenes, and I know I said Shawn was going to talk, but before I forget this, I want to say it. Before Kenny was hired, a bunch of us media were approached and said, hey, Kenny's going to get the support of World Wild West. He's going to get Rock Nation. Magic Johnson's going to come in. Wade Houston, 502 Circle, which are great friends out there, and Junior Bridgman money. We're going to be able to go handpick whoever we want. And that's why, even me, I was a little cocky at first because I was like, we're going to get whoever we want. We're going to have
Drink the Kool-Aid.
we drank it. And it was good Kool-Aid. It had all the extra sugar in it. It was great.
It was great.
Thanks.
No, I mean, I didn't crash. He did. I've still been on 100 the whole time. But we were told all that stuff, and I was afraid it was either going to go really, really well, or as I've told Steve a multitude of times, I was afraid that KP was going to become the Band-Aid coach.
Got bamboozled.
He was going to be the bridge coach. What's up to Dwight joining in? Who told you those facts? Brent, I'm going to need you to elaborate. I know a lot of facts. What facts are you wanting to know about? Jason Baker in the building too. But Shawn, I'm going to go ahead and put these comments up on the board so we can get caught up on that. Tell us your thoughts and stuff, because again, none of us wanted it to happen this way. If you think Kenny wanted to fail this bad, then you're just an idiot. Like, he really wanted this to work out. We all thought it. I mean, even with them telling us prior to the season, that last season, this is going to be amazing. We all were in high spirits for the most part. Me, Marcus, Steve, just to name a few, we the co-hosts of this podcast and others were happy about it. But I was afraid he might be the Band-Aid coach, the bridge coach, maybe is a better way to put it. But how do you feel about the situation? And we're going to put some of the comments up on the board.
Well, I'm going to look at it in both seasons, right? I'm going to look at the first season. I'm going to go, the cloud of the NCAA was a huge issue. People still don't want to acknowledge that. Other people do, but they don't think it was as big an issue. It was a huge issue, okay? So I was willing to kind of wipe that away a little bit. Now, some of it's still on him because some of the players are doing the same thing over and over and over again. You can't allow that. At some point, you have to be like, I don't care how good you are for the best player on the team. You're going to sit if you're causing other problems. Like, I don't want to say names of players, but we know who they were. But then the second season, you come in and everything's looking good. You get Trenton Flowers. He went in the transfer portal. He got Trey White, Sky Clark. Everything was looking good. Of course, there were two players that everybody's like, I don't know why we're taking them, but okay, let's see what they got. Maybe he sees something. But when the beginning of the season happened and we only beat UMBC by one, you're like, okay, they're still gelling. It's a new team, whatever. But then the Chattanooga game happened. And that game, the way it played out, and Joey was watching, we were all watching it, we couldn't believe what we were seeing. That should never happen, to lose the Chattanooga team. And you can tell Kenny's trying to get it out of the players, right? And the players are trying out there. They're not like out there just doing whatever, but they don't know what they're doing. Now, that's unfortunately on the coach. The coach is supposed to be able to get them to do what they want to do, but it's also them listening. So I don't know if they weren't listening. That's the thing. I don't know the dynamic, right? So in the end, he just wasn't ready. Let's just be honest with ourselves. He wasn't ready to be a head coach. We thought he would be because of the talent we thought he was going to get. I thought the talent he would get would be able to allow him to grow into the head coaching role. But he didn't have the talent, and then it required him to be X's and O's, get the most, and I don't think he was ready for that yet.
In terms of when you say motivating them, playing time is your greatest either weapon or ally as a coach. So if you have kids that are constantly doing the same wrong things over and over again, or whatever they're not doing what they're supposed to do, you sit them on the bench, and we will win or lose with the players that are going to do what I ask them to do. And either that player is going to conform to what you're saying, or they're going to sit and sulk, and then you're going to lose that player anyway. But if
And
you're
then
going
the
to,
ones that you put in there are gonna improve because they're getting some playing time.
yes,
And then you're more competitive. I've been
Yes.
saying that for the last 35, 40 games. I don't care how good this player is. If they're doing the same bonehead things over and over and over, sit them on the bench. We're losing anyway.
yes,
Yeah, man.
and you're building a culture. So when
Right.
you're building a culture, you have to stick to your
I'm not
principles.
going to accept that type of play. If you're not going to do what I ask you to do, you're going to sit.
Absolutely. And listen,
You're teaching them life lessons that way too, because once they get into the real world, I mean, that's how it is. I mean, I'll go to the next person. Yeah, I'll go to the next person.
Absolutely. And listen, really quick update. Isaac Humphreys gets us on the board with a solo shot. It's 6-1 cards. Cards still up the bat. My guy Assad just said, going to need you to tweet out another baseball tweet just to get some runs. I did. Look on Twitter right now. It says we need more runs. Let's get this started. And also, I wanted to address, I've been putting them up on the board, and I stopped with Assad's because I wanted to point that out. We need to get him on the show as soon as possible. It's kind of hard, though, on the Sunday show because they play baseball on Sunday, and he does all the video work and stuff for the baseball team. And then we do our during the week show during the week, either Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. And, this week we've got a very rare Tuesday, Wednesday 2-game series at Jim Patterson. So, yeah, we'll get him on here sometime. And then something from Measy, his comment, and then we're going to go ahead and continue. We get stuck in a little. I want to make sure everybody's comments are heard and said. So that's why I do that. Justin Welty says fans need to move on and accept the next coach with open arms, whoever it may be. Dondi says just ready for the next chapter. Hopefully a home run hire. Go Cards. Is he out at third? I think he is. Crap. And then Measy with another one I wanted to point out says, I heard Nolan didn't want to be interim. That's absolutely false. Again, I don't want to get into the specifics. All I know is that the opportunity may have been there, and then Kenny threw the Hail Mary with Carter Knox that would have been caught and completed for a touchdown yesterday. But he allegedly agreed to his buyout yesterday morning, for sure. Allegedly, for sure. Chad Brocky says Mick is on that list. Sad face. We'll get to the list as soon as I get through updating y'all. My guy IK, do you guys know if there's anything positive or signs of hope that we can hold on to for next season? It's been so somber. I'm hoping there's something I can hang my hat on. We'll talk about that here in a few. 3 Shades Media, what's good? Hire a head coach and move Kenny to assistant.
Mm-mm.
No.
Not here.
Oh, okay. You can go to an assistant somewhere else. But.
You ought to go back to the NBA. I think it's where he's going. I think he might end up back on the Knicks.
I think Kenny is a phenomenal recruiter. I just think with him so that's why I would not be opposed.
And a position coach, coaching big men. Like at the Knicks, Julius Randle and those guys. I mean, obviously he coached them in college, but not just former Blue players, like other big guys that he's coaching the pros. They rave about him. So that's his nick. I mean, sometimes
his nick,
whatever. Sometimes not everybody's built for that. For being the head coach. Not everybody's built for it. Hey, I want to try it. Try it. It doesn't work out. Whatever. I mean, go back to doing what you do best, man. Make that money. That's what it's all about. Just get that money, man. He can make more money in the pros probably as assistant, or as much as making it at Louisville.
You could talk me into moving him to assistant coach here, as well as he recruited but they won't do. That's not a possibility. I mean, great point being brought up.
I think there's been too
They
much.
would never give him that opportunity. I would love to have him and Nolan in those two positions, and then go hire an old head like oh gosh, what was the guy that used to coach? Shawn, I know you know, at Western Kentucky. I've mentioned him a multitude of times.
Stansbury.
Rick Stansbury.
Man, forget Shawn.
Joey got you tell me to leave the humor to you. Don't give me with facts. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Runners are on second and third with one out.
Shawn's got one thing on his mind right now.
Bottom of the seventh. What, bottom or what? The seventh. I'm not sure. Brandon Chase says, afternoon, gentlemen, was in the house last night, still seeing folks rooting hard. Was in the building last night and still seeing folks rooting hard was awesome. Seniors deserved it. L's up. That's the way it is most games, though. People on Twitter will make you think like it's a burial ground in there. It was loud the whole game.
Yeah.
And no matter whether it was 5,000, 6,000, 10,000, it had it been any louder, probably would have hurt my ears. It was that loud. And our guy NASCAR Steve, you should have come up and said hi to us. He said he saw the CSZ crew at the game yesterday. You should come up and said hi. Me, Sam, Shawn, Joey was in the building. Our guy Corrito come up and said hi to us.
Well,
in a way,
it wasn't necessarily those words, but
Right. It was.
I love it. It was Shawn. How do you say that? Yes, it was. I don't know if they can hear that on the video side. So sometimes I wonder, can they hear the audio board?
The crowd was good yesterday.
Yeah, it was. It was very, very good. Brent wants to know. He's going to put me on Front Street. Now, this guy, look, I like Brent Kaufman. He is a good and bad pain in my rear end. He brings me a lot of good information, but he also, I'm just kidding about that. He's asking me who told me the facts about Worldwide West, Rock Nation. I'm not going to give you my sources, Brent, but it was somebody that would know. And the fact of the matter is, if you listen to Kenny, he will tell you he only got $1 million for NIL. If you listen to the donors, which I do, one of the NIL collective is one of my employers. They said that wasn't true, that they had offered exponentially more to help them out. Not going to get into details, but so I don't know what the benefit is of lying about the NIL, but the fact that
didn't use it.
What? Okay.
He didn't use enough of it. I mean, if they said that they gave him more, he had a more of an allowance, and he wasn't utilizing that because, I mean, in this press conference, he basically said he didn't want it to be a bit about NIL money.
Fair.
Right?
Exactly.
And he turned a
he's
couple
not
players
using
down that came in and said, I want X amount of money for, okay. Well,
and I'm okay with that decision. Like, you're not going to come in and dictate terms to me. Like, I'm the coach. But if I've got X amount of money available, why am I not using every penny of it?
Absolutely.
It's not my money.
Absolutely, 1,000%. But no, I'm not going to tell you. Tell me those facts. You think I'm stupid? I would have no more sources. Measy wants to know. We have to know why all of KP's relationships turned their back on him. Could have been because Adidas or Nike. I don't know. Tony Bowman, what's up, guys? What's up, man?
That could have been absolutely none of his doing why they did it.
What up, 55?
Decisions that he had no control over.
Bases are loaded. One out. Count as 2-2. I believe that's it's either out. I can't really tell because my phone is so small, but we have a man up to bat. I'm going to get to the list in a second, guys. Calm down. No, it's not good radio to and we have a walk, and it is 6-2 cards now. Assad, all you had to do is ask. We deliver on the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast.
Tying run is coming to the plate.
Tying run coming to the plate, says Joe Wong.
Baseball.
He did the math. I like it. Wells 502.
Inside baseball.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what they say in the biz.
Welch says hello, guys. Buyers. What's the list? Jeremy, getting to it. I promise, BJ. Brandon gives his list. Drew, Wade, Tang, Cronin. You are almost correct. Brent Kaufman says butt meets bench for sure. Finally put, I'm not going to say the name because we don't call out individual players here. I finally put Redacted's ASS on that bench. Tony Bowman, great point. Losing Kenny's bittersweet, was really wanting a former player under Denny to come in and succeed.
Yeah.
And as far as, that's what breaks a lot of our hearts. I'll agree with that. Jimmy Blair says, truth, you're going to lose anyway. Might as well play the guys that will listen. KP never used the bench as a motivator. That is Jimmy's opinion, and it could be fact, but I'm not going to pile on him. It is what it is. Musselman would bring the energy we need. You can tell he coaches with a passion. Card guy, I hate to inform you, I do not. I was sent 2 lists last night. There were like 2 or 3 on each. Pop up to shortstop, 2 outs. Card still down 6-2. 1 more out. Let's hit a grand slam, guys. Musselman wasn't either on either one of the donors list that I talked to last night. Brent Kaufman says the biggest issue he saw was KP and his defensive teachings. That's fair. We all know that, says John Veet, ready to move on.
What defensive teachings?
See, Sam's been waiting to do that all season. Now he's gone, and now Sam's ready to turn into full douche mode. And I'm here for it. Like, I love it when Sam's the –
You might as well be wearing a Miami hat.
When Sam's the cranky old man in the podcast, I love it. There's nothing better. Chad Baraki says, Rutherford said Hurd was looking for guys who made runs in the tournament. He really likes Shirts and Kelsey at Charleston. I've not heard the Charleston name at all. Carrito, our guy Carrito, who greeted he's safe at home. Steals home. It is 6-3 cards. Look aside. All you have to do is ask me. We get it done for you. Count as 1-0. Men on first and second. I love. Maybe I should do some baseball commentating. I think that was really passionate. It was good. Kind of our guy. Speaking of Rito, who greeted us in the most Rito way ever. Kind of funny. KP preached about family and loving on the players, but the staff was fractured. Don't be telling people stuff I tell you. Rito Mizi says, I mean, Kala. I don't say that word either. Is getting so much disrespect in blank. Why not come on down to Louisville? Okay, I would
don't even play like that.
No, I don't want that dude to come down anywhere.
No, who said that?
It was our guy Measy. Hey, last night I heard what you would do for $1 million, so I don't want to.
Now, before everybody gets
no, it wasn't anything nasty.
Yeah. Whoa.
Rito wants to know who made the list. Jericho voice. I'll tell you. I promise you. I'm gonna get caught up with these chats. I'll get right to it.
And I redirected that.
You did very nicely.
I was initially thinking about it in only one way. I don't even care. I'll tell them.
No, don't. We'll keep that. We'll keep that for next week. We got to have a little something for them to talk about.
Well, I don't want them thinking too much.
No, it wasn't anything like
fandom.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that we would say to Shawn.
Right.
It was
I
fan related.
Wrong idea for like a week. So.
Well, I actually like it. So for them to have, no, I'm just kidding. The Waman wits kicked in immediately with them, and we're gonna take a little sec. 3-2 count. 2 men on. 2 outs.
What I said.
And here comes the pitch. And the guy's buffering, and he steps off the plate. Anyway, if you take the blank tradition, blank money, blank politics, of course, KP can recruit. Not at blank 4 years, and they recruit better than ever. Fair enough. Measy says, dude brings talent in no matter where he's at. How could you keep KP and Nolan when they don't see eye to eye? Well, and we have a walk, bases loaded again, 2 outs. I'm not saying I would keep KP and Nolan. Go ahead and run to play. Look, these cards have been dangerous after the 6th inning. Every game this series, this will be the 3rd straight game that they went into this was the 3rd straight game that they went into the 6th inning down. They won the other 2 games handedly.
I thought yesterday it was bottom of the 5th when they had that.
It was bottom of this. It was either 5th or 6th. All 3 games has been the same.
Runs,
Are they going to get it to the?
It's when I showed up both days.
3
they start getting runs.
Bases are left loaded. 6-3. We're heading to the top of the 8th. We still have some hopes here. Plenty of time. I'm going to turn the game off and get back. I think I have a show to do or something. I'm sorry. LOL. Who made the list? But I never said keep them. I said I could, like, in a world where KP could be retained. Well, yes, Steve told you the same because me and Steve talk every day, and it's probably something I told Steve. I got Tanner Hickman, producer of Lava 55. I like Will Wade because his teams jump passing lanes and pressure the ball on the defensive end, and they get out and run in transition. That style is awesome, but I get why we won't get him.
Our teams this year did that too, but they just tried to go 1-on-3, or they threw the ball away, or dribbled it off their ankle, or
they would overplay, and that's why they got always the cuts. They get
that's where those 8 turnovers in 8 minutes come from yesterday.
Brent Kaufman says the 502 circle wanted to control who got what. That's not true. KP said he wasn't talking NIL first. Players go to 502 first. That's not true at all. And I talked to the guys at the 502. Again, they're my employer. And I talked to we had Dan Furman on the show a few weeks ago, and then Zach Soskin, and I can tell you they wanted to help facilitate Kenny. Kenny would not take advantage of the help. So it is what it is. Don't listen to everything you hear, and including with me, because sometimes, even with the Carter Knox thing, I was convinced yesterday morning Carter was a Cardinal. And then I got told the buyout happened, and then I got told he was flipping. And that all happened just like this. That's why stuff that we tell you, we make sure we warn you. Listen, this is what we're hearing. This is what we're hearing, and we're giving you for free. You don't have to pay for this. We're giving you this information. We hope it's all right, but some of it ends up not being right because things change, as in getting Danilo and Karan when a certain coach brought you Keyshawn Hall and Chris Bell. And you're like, no, I don't want established players that are going to average 20 points per game this year. I want Karan Davis, who never played it, and Danilo, who kind of looked like he buffered yesterday a couple of times when he was going up for a shot. So
Danilo credit though. He did play hard.
He did. He really did.
He did.
He was throwing some dunks down in warm up.
He was.
He's athletic.
He is. For a person that sits on the bench, he's very athletic. C. Baber says, was there one or a multitude of factors that caused KP not to have the resource? Stubbornness is the one that I can say most contributed to that. Gary Crump says, what's up, 55?
He wanted to do it the Denny Crum way, which wasn't bad in 1980s, but it's not 1980s and early 90s anymore.
Our guy Jeff Left, who yesterday had on the Michael Jackson Beat It starter outfit and, come up and said hi to us. We appreciate him. He is an understudy. I'm trying to get him up underneath my wing, but look, he talks way too much. No, I'm just kidding. That's my guy, though. Jimmy Blair says 6'2" car. Oh, yeah, well, damn. Obviously, we're down. Work on that play-by-play 55. Stop it, Jimmy. Listen, I am producing, running, writing. I don't even know what Sam's looking at, but he's always looking across the way like there's some chicks in his closet or something. So I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, my closet's behind me, dude.
Well, I don't know how many closets you have to walk in and out of in that room. You may have a bunch of closets.
I'm watching the ACC Women's Championship game right now.
Fair enough.
Watching other schools besides Louisville.
That's what he does. He's a big fan of ACC as long as it's not Louisville. Opinion is the reason that the relationship did not work out is the fact the university stuck with Adidas. That could be. I don't know that to be true, but I would not doubt that at all. Heard anything else on maybe Will Wade? We'll talk about the list here in a second. I promise you. Our guy Gary says everybody's got a list. Josh is the only one that counts. IK says I'd love to hear who everyone wants back from this year's squad. Let's do that next week. Y'all remind me next week. We'll do that next week. I don't want this show to go too long because I do have something I have to do after the show. But I'm still down for another 30 minutes. So we'll stay on here. I want to get to everything. Maybe Higgy not doing his job and sending me the rapid fire will work out because I don't know that we'll have time for it anyway. But, let's do that next week. Wes, if you don't mind writing it down. Higgy's not here, so I know he'll forget. And we will talk about Joey's bet next week. Or Joey's choice, his Sophie's choice moment. And then we'll talk about who we want back from this year's squad. Dwayne says, I hope Nolan stays so he can see what it's like with a sold-out Yum. He wants to be here too. I promise you that. Justin McCord says, right, Sam. I don't know what Sam said. Just find some green grass and plate 2 runners. Safe at home. So that's how far we're behind. I'm going to get to all these. We're going to get back to the show. Card 6 says, one of the problems – Cards socks. Listen, Shawn, I'll explain to you what the other thing is after the show. One of the problems not having a balanced roster is you can't bench your only guard.
Sure you can.
He's done it before when he had Curtis playing the 1.
90% of the schools play positionless basketball anymore. Anyway.
Well, and to be fair, he had a lot of guards that one bounced before the season started. One had a season-ending surgery about a month and a half ago. Hersey Miller, I think, and this is probably going to be an unpopular thought, but I thought Hersey Miller played phenomenal ball when he was in here the last 2 weeks of his – because you didn't see him for a while during the first semester, and then all of a sudden he started starting every game, and he was a great facilitator. Didn't put up gaudy numbers, but was a great facilitator to everybody on the court. So he's a guy who I hope comes back because I think he could have a jump over the summer. And again, we'll talk about that next week. What channel are they playing on? They are playing on the ACC network on the ESPN. Or no, I'm sorry. They're playing on ACC Network Extra on your ESPN app. So you got to pull it up. Got to have it on your TV or your phone. Pull it up and watch it. What's up, 55, says our guy Babu. What's up, Babu? Coming in late? No, you ain't missed nothing. We just talk like we always talk. Brent Kaufman says Avia isn't a guy that can compete against ACC talent. Okay. I hope we go after Wade, says Noah Wilson. Brandon Johnson says the way Manning and Payne avoided each other during games, I could tell neither of them ever coached the same player. It seemed okay. I get that. All right. Yeah, they've scored a buttload of runs on the 10. We'll talk about that in a few. I want to get to this, but I'm not going to ignore your comment there, Robbie. That's true. One game in the 10 games, we didn't score over 10 runs, and it was 9 runs. Or sorry, we didn't score in double digits, but it was a 9-run win. Coaching list, and then let's talk about the women's team. I'm so disappointed right now, but they can come back hungry, probably is what he meant. Tournament. You didn't miss the list, Sharon. I've not got to it yet. I won't say it's insider info, but we do what we can. Well, it is. So I just don't like sounding not humble, but whatever. What does the timeline look like getting the new guy here? I would say within the next, if you put a gun to my head, within the next 13 days, something me and Steve was talking about, and I think we kind of agreed, if you hear something in the next 13 days, we didn't get Scott Drew. If you hear something after Scott Drew's team is eliminated from the NCAA tournament, there's still a chance. Again, we will. I know y'all. What's the list? What's the list? What's the list? I promise you, I'll get it. I promise. You were a smooth criminal, Jeff. Absolutely.
We gotta get the official statement that somebody has left first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no. Well, respectable media have to wait before. But I'm not me. I'm Jeremy Wallman, Cardinal Sports Zone.
I'm not saying that.
When I hear things, I'm gonna let people know. So no, we haven't got the official statement yet.
To announce a hiring, they got to announce a firing first, or a parting of ways.
Absolutely, but hashtag he gone for sure. And another thing I want to say about Marcus real quick, I hopped on the show the other night. I don't remember where me and Teresa were on the way back home from, but we were definitely on the way back home from something. I was tuned into the show and said hi for the first time in a while. He's like, man, you should hop in here. So when I got home, I hopped on, and I ended the show telling everybody we need to start the hashtag with the Midnight Family, hashtag I'm a MF. So if you are a Midnight Family supporter, hashtag I am a MF and get that trending on Twitter. Brandon says,
he wants to make me a shirt, I'll wear it.
He'll wear it. He will. Brandon Johnson says, yeah, Hersey start playing well enough to be on the floor. I want to see him blossom. All right, hey, y'all, we are almost caught up. Gary Crump says, my observation is I could never get a read on the chemistry. T. Will says, what's up, CSZ family? Kevin says the shirts wow you guys, and Corey Carson said good to see Trevor out of his closet. Trevor, who's Trevor?
That's what I was about to say. Who's Trevor?
Brian says good afternoon, guys, and here we go. The first one, Patrick says I'm an MFer. Love it. I love that. Okay, so
MFer right there.
The way Marcus hit the button on you at the end of the show was
he did. He ended the show. I said the last thing I want to say, I am MF, or I am an MF, and he ended the show. Didn't even tell me, just ended it on. Shook his head and ended the show. Love that dude. And now we've got 40,000 I am an MFs coming through the chat line. I'm not going to read all those just yet. Oh, Shawn's Trevor. The Trevor. You made the comparison of the video game character, the creepy video game character that you said Shawn looked like. Shawn, I'll hit the button. No, that's pretty believable. We'll roll through some of the MFs here in a minute, though. But look, lost the game. Season's over. Next game, Tuesday at 4:30 versus NC State. We will be, sadly, to some, moving on. KP is, we'll go ahead for radio purposes, say likely gone. Again, I told y'all about Carter Knox and why he committed to the other side. It's because the buyout was come to an agreement, allegedly, yesterday morning. It was heartbreaking after the game. Mike James was in tears, being consoled by his family. Brendan Huntley Hatfield was in tears, being consoled by his family. Sky, talked to Sky Clark before the podcast today. And I just want to pull up. Sorry, I didn't realize that, again, 4,000 people decided to text me while I'm doing the show. I want to read verbatim what Sky Clark said. He said, hey, please let everybody know out there, even though things were rough this season and none of us wanted it this way, we appreciate your support. We love y'all. And again, he repeated, thanks for all the support. So listen, I hate it for these kids more than I hate it for, because Kenny's a grown man. And he's going to be all right. These kids, Mike James loves Louisville. Brandon Huntley Hatfield loves Louisville. Scott Clark loves Louisville. Hersey Miller loves Louisville. Yes, I hope that we keep Nolan too. But, man, just seeing all the kids heartbroken. And Sky has told me, now, what things can change. So Jeremy Wyman said, no, well, Jeremy Wyman did say. But I had a conversation with Sky a couple of weeks ago where the theme of the conversation ended up being, can't wait to come back next year and show these guys what we can do. So the kids understand it's a building process. I think a lot of people, other than the fan, we're hungry. We are literally have been beaten down 9 years in a row by scandals or bad records or self-imposements. Like, even though I don't agree with the toxicity of a lot of the comments, I understand why people are upset. We're Louisville basketball. Even though in the 90s it was kind of rough, thank God we didn't have social media then, or Denny may have probably quit on us before he walked out. But, yeah, y'all are all a bunch of MFers, and I love it. How's Tyler's mood? He's a good dude. Sky said on Instagram multiple times that he'll be back. Hopefully that stays the same. Of course, when they say stuff like that, they're saying, with my head coach coming back, I'll be back.
Yeah.
So T-Will says, not to mention Sky broke his ribs earlier in the year, and he's battling through it. He took an ugly fall. He did take an ugly fall.
Yeah.
It sounded bad.
It did sound bad. Corey.
Guy does consider coming back even with the situational change, because he showed in moments during the season that he could end up being our closer if he comes back. He has that type of ability.
Well, what Sky needs to do is Sky needs to get better play. And no shade intended to the people around him. You can tell if you watch basketball and not just watch it, but you're like a student of the game, you can tell that sometimes Sky makes mistakes because he's assuming that the guys that are supposed to be where they're supposed to be at have a higher IQ. And they don't have as high of an IQ as Sky does. So sometimes, just like when a quarterback throws to a place instead of throws to an open guy, he's expecting Shawn to be wide open because there's nothing about Shawn that has ever said he was covered by anybody or anything. So he just throws, okay, Shawn's wide open, I'm going to throw it to him. But if you're a quarterback, you're looking around, you're like, well, I know these guys are covered, but Shawn should be wide open. You turn around, throw it, and they pick it off.
Turnover.
It's a turnover, something else Shawn's never got to do. So, listen, this is a family show, and I know I turned it the wrong way.
You did it.
I did it. It's me. Blame me. Y'all like to do that anyway. But Corey Carson says, I was there last night. You should have come and said hi. My daughter's favorite player is Trey, but he has had a rough season, a rough end of the season. Brandon showed out. Absolutely. Dwayne says, I'm going to go back to the MFers because those are funny. Sharon Elliott says, give away the shot if Drew isn't coming. Will be interesting to see who actually stays. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Let's see.
If I didn't get to watch a a lot of the games this year just because of like work and everything. But
Sure.
from what I've seen and like the box scores and everything, I would have to give Brendan Huntley Hatfield say that like for the majority of the season, he was the anchor, man.
Absolutely. I would give him
boards, scoring.
Let's do that next week too,
Yeah.
Wes. Write that down. We're going to give our MVPs next week. Roger Nee says Rondo used to be like that too. His IQ is so good. Adam says I'd take any of these guys back with the right coach except one. That one got to go far away. I know who he's talking about. And Sharon says give Wade a shot if Drew isn't coming. Will be interesting to see who actually stays. Give BHH and Tyler the max bag. Absolutely. All right, guys. This is what y'all been wanting to know the whole night. The coaching list that I was sent.
Never just WWE'd y'all.
I did.
Made y'all wait till the very last.
Drum roll, please. We'll tell y'all next week. No, I'm just kidding. So here's the 4 names
What
that
do
I
you need
would
to write down again?
do. What?
What'd you
Next
write
week
down?
we're gonna give out our
MVP.
offensive player. Yeah, MVP. Miss Kelly, mom's in the building. We appreciate it. We're gonna give out our player awards. Oh, what a diving catch by Northwestern! I hate y'all.
Wow.
That dude reached over his head and jumped to save that from going over the fence.
On the
Two
one
outs.
in
I
tracks
did
too.
another, drum roll.
No, we don't need another drum roll. Albert, you ain't missed anything. We're going to get to the list. Everybody's with their eyes open. 2 of these guys, I'm going to say, are on opposite spectrums. One, I don't think we'll get because he's got it way too good. The other one, I think he's too big of a risk. Scott Drew is the number 1 pick, I think, on everybody's board. I don't know. I'm being honest with you. I'm not going to say it cannot happen, but why would you leave a situation where you've got it made? It doesn't matter how good or how bad you do. I love all the eyeballs in the chat line right now. Keep them coming. I don't know why you leave a situation like Baylor. You sat down and helped them design the new stadium. They didn't just build you a new stadium because they're like, we want to keep you. Here's a new stadium. You sat down and designed it with them. That is every nook and cranny of that is you. Scott Drew has not said no yet.
You know why he would want to leave?
Why?
Because we're a top 6 all-time program.
Yeah,
Baylor is not.
No, that's fair. But in the coaching business, there's so much turnover. Why would you leave stability? And Scott Drew, let's not get it twisted.
And a challenge.
They
Yeah,
love
but some guys
coaches
aren't
love
like
a
that.
challenge.
Yeah, but I don't get that vibe from Scott Drew. Scott Drew, he is a very loyal, a God-fearing man. And all right, 3 outs. We have got 3 more turns up to the bat in the 9th, and then this game is sadly
Scott Drew also
over.
could do the Denny Crum thing because we were not a top 6 program when Denny Crum came.
No, that's fair. Sean, for the first time ever, you made a good
Baylor's
point.
been there before.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they've had some runs. I mean,
Baylor,
2012, they were Final Four with us, the team down the road, and
No, wait a minute, Baylor. You're talking about the Lincoln, right?
No.
No, was Baylor there?
I think 10 years ago,
It was-
Baylor was.
It was the year they had like Pierre Jackson. So I
they
think
were a Final Four. They were at least an Elite 8 team. I know.
Yeah, well, they had Drew's first 2 years here were the first 2 years after the death penalty had been lifted. So he had some single win seasons. They weren't going to. I just don't see Scott. I think he's too loyal. I don't see him. I would be more worried if the Kentucky job was open because he has ties to them. What's up, Q? Moms Kelly said Q's with him. What's good? I hope you love that QR3 T-shirt at T-shirt Hooligans. I helped Alan. Actually, I created the QR code to put on there for him. And
I was trying to nap when he was talking to Alan. About
absolutely. Word I've heard. Well, the word that you've heard is not. I hate to say this absolutely on some things. I know it's not true. We are waiting for him to say no before we move on to number 2, which, by the way, we've drug it out long enough. Number 2, God, he is a number 2 as a person. He would be an absolute slap in my face. But Mick the Prick Cronin was a consensus number 2 on these 2 high donors list.
I don't get it either because if he's not going to make the tournament this year, which is highly
So,
likely.
I seen somebody make a good analogy about that on Twitter. I don't get on Twitter much, but I see that UCLA would be looking at us like we've looked at Cincinnati by taking Scott Satterfield off our hands.
Mick is the prick. Mick may be the pick, but he's the number 2. He's the only 4 names appeared on both lists, and these 4 names are the ones that I'm rolling with, rocking with. Yes, number 2. I think he's one of the people that are safe, is the safe one. But no, he hasn't said no yet. We are waiting, but we have. Listen, if you all hear a name within the next few weeks, we've already got a number 2 locked down that is going to, and I fear it's Mick Cronin. There's another guy I think it may be. It's the 3rd guy on my list, but I want to catch up on these comments real quick. Not very many, because y'all want to hear the list. You don't want to interrupt me. But let's go ahead and throw Moms Kelly's comment up here so that way you all can show y'all's love to Q in the building, our guy. I don't think Drew comes. 21 years at Baylor, Tang, Beard, and Wade. Listen, I've said this a million times. Beard is, well, first off, he's not on he wasn't even on either of the list I got last night, because there were like a couple of names, including Richard Pitino Jr., who would be my 5th guy on this list. And I know what you're saying, but that's a guy that one of the guys had on the list and intrigues me just a little bit because of the days of old. I'm not saying he would be the guy I would go after. I know he would keep Nolan, so that's one thing that makes me want it. But it is what it is. Drew, coach the team we are remembering. Fair. Cardinal says no on Mick is the prick. Or no to Mick, no to Mick, no to Mick. I hope prick ain't the pick. Well, no to the Mick. Oh, my God. Search is over then. He wants the job. Mick is not the pick. I like Matt Payne.
Oh, God, no. Please, no.
We don't want to be UCLA or Cincinnati. I agree. Jeff says he's got a top 10 class coming in. Patrick says Q. Mom's Kelly. Shawn says Lil Ricky. Ricky. List number 3 is number 3 on the list, which is, I think in all actuality, if you tell me Scott Drew is not going to, which he's not told us yet, I think this is a guy that's actually the number 2, and it's a guy that is going to make half of your all's rear ends fall out of your pants because out of just what? Indiana State head coach Josh Schertz. His salary is $350,000 a season as opposed to Kenny's $3.5 million. He'd be a financial safe pick. I've got friends in the Indiana State athletic office that contacted me yesterday and said he could confirm the 2 sides had been talking. And I don't care to say that because my friend inside the athletic department at Indiana State, he said, go ahead and share that. I ain't bleep. I don't care if I get in trouble or not, but that would kind of feed into the rumors and narratives that U of L is low on funds right now. So that would be an interesting selection if it was him. Adam said, I don't want Mick, but he's not Satterfield, man. Take it easy. Better win percentage than Drew. I've been told it's Schertz, says Kevin. Well, okay. I don't know who you talk to, but I know who I talk to, and I would be willing to put money on the people I talk to. I don't get on message boards and stuff like that. I talk to actual people. That's why I don't need a message board subscription, because if I want to know what's going on with Nolan Smith or Kenny Payne, I just call them. And yes, that's going to be what Wes is going to throw the flag on me for an inadvertent humble flex, and that's fine.
No,
you good? Okay. Well, then flex all the way.
Celebration flag.
Fair. Brian McGlasson says 2012 Baylor lost to Anthony Davis in the Elite 8. So that's what Joey was talking about. But that was just a few years after they had come back, I believe.
Also, Drew had the team that ended Kentucky's long home winning streak with Pierre Jackson.
Okay. Patrick says I hate
Quincy H.C. and yep.
Yeah. Patrick hates the whole list. Brandon Johnson says yes, sir. And Drew was the coach. Okay.
Well, we're only three of the 5 picks, so you can't hate the whole list yet.
Well, true. Well, it's 4. I got 4, and I put Ricky on there as receiving votes. Pat says no. Hate the whole list. Yes, sir. Drew's coach. Mick is the pick. Says Antron Madsen. Shut up. I'm just kidding. Not on a message board, my man. All right. Well, feel free to contact me privately, and we can discuss who your contacts are and who my contacts are. Not to get in a sausage swinging fight, but I'm just saying, like, one of the people I talk to, no, I'm not going to do that. Y'all try and get me in trouble today.
Who's pick number 4?
Pick number 4, I'm getting ready to get into. Like, you can't give them all at
No,
once.
I'm trying to get away
As somebody's
from,
body count, as yours would suggest, you can't give it to them all at once. You've got to a little bit at a
Hold
time.
on.
You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Hold on.
Calm down.
You can.
Shawn,
You can have a room full.
listen, Shawn, we will explain it to you afterwards. I don't want shirts or chrome. Every time I even say shirts, I think sharts. Fair enough, Kevin. And again, I wasn't trying to be a douche about it. I know it kind of sounded douchey, but I apologize for that. Tice, our guy Tice says, just joined. Which coach do you think will win the most here? Very interesting. I'm going to get to the last one here in a second. Brandon John says he knows what is expected from start, so it won't be a Satterfield thing. He knows it is balls to the wall, LOL. And Chris Barrett may not be on that list, but I'm telling you, he's interested in the job. He's ambitious and made one mistake his whole life, and that was last year. Yeah, his one mistake was he beat a chick. Please do not respond with charges dropped, because here's what I'll say about that.
Too
You
late.
did?
Yeah, like
I see
right after he
it.
put
Listen,
that.
John, you've been one of my guys for a long time, and I appreciate that. It doesn't matter if the charges were dropped or not. Now, I know because his girlfriend's best friend – it's going to sound a whole lot of he said, she said, but his girlfriend's best friend is friends with one of my friends. And it was not, and we don't have to get into how you know anybody's interested or not, but this was not the first time something this, and the reason it happened was a result of something way more worrisome. I won't put his business out on Front Street, but it is what it is. In that situation, I've said this 1 million times on the show, either he did it and he could be a problem here, or she lied about it, and that could be a problem here. We cannot risk it. That's why the fourth name on this list, this is my long shot. But it's a guy I want more than any of them because of his youth, his hunger, his passion, the way he loves. The reason he even got in trouble in the first place is that he gave some money to a recruit or a guy that was homeless. I think the story is.
Will you just tell him?
Oh, there's another thing I saw yesterday that said one of the things he got in trouble for was giving money to two of his players that got in a car accident.
Absolutely. No, Brandon, I know what you're saying. But, yeah, either he's the problem or she's the problem. And if we can't risk that on him,
Nope.
we can't risk it on her either. And from what I've heard, allegedly, she's a wild chick. So it could happen.
What up, girl?
And that was Joey's shout out of the day. He took a shot. We don't know if he missed yet or not. Wade Brigade says Brandon Johnson, but the fourth member that was a consensus on the list I got yesterday was Will Wade. Our guy Steve Rummage says there's no way we touch him because of the risk. And here's what I will say. I love Will Wade. I love the idea of Will Wade. Can we take a risk on Will Wade if he does something as small as buys a player lunch? Or if, let's just say Will Wade's named the head coach next week, and Jason Sanan commits, but he doesn't sign. And one of the doofy ass reporters that are in there in the room, who have been 7 out of 10 of them are complete numbnuts. Well, hey, Will, what do you think about Jason Sanan signing for the Cardinals? And Will Wade does anything as much as, man, Sanan brings great energy. I mean, the player brings great energy. That puts Louisville on the death penalty. Something that small. So do you risk it for the greatness over being – y'all are worried about being a 50-loss team in 2 years. Would y'all rather be not playing basketball for 5 years?
Here's what you do in that situation, though. No comment.
No, you do, but Will Wade's such a great dude, and I've heard a lot.
Easy to answer. No
Absolutely. I've heard such great stuff about Will Wade from my contacts that actually know him. They say he would kill it here at Louisville. Here's what I'm terrified of. We're not going to touch Will Wade with the 10-foot pole, says Steve Rummage. So we'll go Steve's rules on this. DePaul hires Will Wade in 2 weeks, grabs Nolan Smith. They tap into that Chicago pool of talent, and they run college basketball. Because let's not get that twisted. Who was the third guy? Sam, you're going to know. It was Anthony Davis, Wayne Blackshear, and a third guy. I think he either went to UConn or Kansas. but he was a big-time baller.
The Shima Hana was in that, wasn't he?
No, he's talking
No,
about
Chicago.
Chicago.
Oh.
Not Bowling Green.
No, I'm drawing a blank.
DeMar DeRozan? No.
Well, it's
No.
probably because you got a New
It
York
was
Yankees
somebody
guy
whose
on.
first and last name had the same. Maybe y'all can tell us in the. Regardless, all those three players were so good. One of them won City Player of the Year. One of them won County Player of the Year, and the third one won State Player of the Year. I think Wayne won State Player of the Year.
Yeah.
AD won City Player, and then the other guy, or no, I think AD won the lowest
Wait
of
a
the
minute,
three.
was it Jabari?
No,
No.
it wasn't
Jabari
Shawn.
Parker.
Yes, I did say Will Wade, Sharon.
I was thinking it was Gerard Parker. That's what I was thinking.
No, it wasn't.
He came out of Chicago around the same time.
It wasn't the same year. Wade
He
Brigade.
came out after.
So there's a chance we get Wade. No, I'm not saying there's a chance. I'm saying that name was on the donors list. And that's the final list that they're going to send in. Those were the top four that they thought.
I'll be very curious to see what Hurd's list is, though, because you're going to take everybody's consideration, right?
Steve
But I
Ryan
got a
says
feeling-
Ryan Boatwright.
Ryan, I should have went to him.
Yeah, you should have went to Steve Rummage.
Well, I didn't know he was.
Well,
I didn't know he was going to grace us with his look. We've had Marcus Maven on the show, Steve Rummage on the show.
Steve Rummage is in the building.
I guess we're just waiting on Jesus to make it the trifecta. No, Kenny Payne hasn't been fired yet. Patrick says, yeah, hate the whole list. Two of them are high risk and will have us under the NCAA microscope from day one. I don't disagree with that. Noah Wilson was guessing Purvis. It was exactly who Steve said. Wayne won State. Then I think AD won City, and then no. Wayne won State.
Those three guys.
Boatwright won City, and then AD won County. It was something along those lines. Thank you, Stay Humble Jay, for correcting us. Thank you, Steve, for helping us out. Tyson wants to know who's been on the list. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we got that. The list is, in my opinion, Bob Huggins. I'm just kidding, Steve. It is Scott Drew, Mick Cronin, Josh Schertz, and a very, 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 as I've given Steve his credit multiple times, not even with the trillion-foot poll, Will Wade. God, as much as I love the idea of Will Wade, I do not think that we can even risk him farting on campus the wrong way and getting an allegation.
Does he have a show cause?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does, but only for like the first 5 or 6 months of the season. That's
Okay.
not an issue for me because Nolan allegedly could take that first lead assistant job, do all the recruiting, and him say, Nolan, look, for this first year, you take care of everything except for the pressers. But it's the pressers that could get him in trouble. So shout out to all the donors. Wade is the guy. Steve Rummage says, they are not hiring Will Wade for the love of Christ. So Will Wade would be my fourth. And then Bob Huggins actually has moved up to my first because of Steve's hate comment there.
Bugging for Huggins.
Listen, I no longer think Bob Huggins, but there is a new candidate. His name is Hob Buggins, and I think he may be the next guy. I'm just kidding. Will Mick try to keep? No, I don't want to speculate on that yet, but here's what I will say. Other than Scott Drew, I think the other three guys roll the dice and take a shot on Nolan.
I think the Josh Schertz guy would be a good pick for Louisville, just because he has proven he has head coaching experience. He's proven it, and he's moving up the kind of the ladder of divisions.
Kind of like Dan Hurley.
Yeah, moving up, divisions and stuff, and the monetary. You're getting more bang for your buck, at least for the first contract. If he comes in and does what he needs to do, then he's going to get paid after that. But you can save a little bit of money that way.
Sean's never moved up anything.
And if you keep knowing, you're keeping an elite recruiter as well, to help get you those players to where this guy can coach them up.
And the actions within his system and everything. Like I told Jeremy, I was watching a video last night, and dude had the #1 offensive efficiency at a point in the season with Indiana State. Like the actions they run, the shots they take. It's good stuff.
I think the biggest draw to him would be, and there was a tweet at least late last night that Indiana State and their board of trustees are trying to secure the money to be able to retain him because they know guys are good. They know people.
If we want him, we'll get it.
Are going to come after him. Well,
exactly. They can secure the money all they want.
He makes $350,000 now. Kenny was making $3.5 million. Is that 10
know.
times or 100 times? That's 10 times.
But I don't know. I mean, if Larry Bird wanted to step in for Indiana State and throw some money, they might be able to.
They might. But
I don't know if Larry Bird.
Good point.
No, I don't think so either. And I think if you're the shirts guy, like you want to get, it's like if I can get the money either place, I want to go to Louisville and be in a top tier college basketball.
And he'll
program.
still be in his recruiting area, right?
Yeah.
He knows the area. He knows
kids that he recruited up there that would be, good, solid players. They're not going to have to drive. It's not like you're going 1,000 miles out of the way.
I just want a good coach that'll win. That's all I ask for. It may not be a name brand coach.
I want it to be on the. I want it to be on. Like, here's my thing. I want it to be on the players. I want it to be on the players. And not saying that I want to call them out or anything, but when you're watching the game, you're watching the games and they're doing the same things over and over that are not right. I want it to be on the players instead of saying, why is the coach not, making adjustments? And that's the other thing with coaching. You have to adjust. You can have, I want to run this type of offense, but if you ain't got those type of players, you have to adjust. You have to come up with a different game plan, and I haven't seen any adjustment in 55 games, 60 games, whatever it is at this point, Seen nothing different. It's the same thing.
Same thing over and over.
Lenore Ryan. I mean, we're in the same position as we was with Lenore Ryan at the beginning of last year.
Yeah, defense has been the same thing.
Same thing.
Guys. The thing that kills me is not getting back when they don't crash the boards.
I tell people all the time. I can always tell if I didn't see the score and I just looked at the box score. I can always tell you whether Louisville was in the game or they weren't. Assist to field goals made.
Yeah, because that's what Kenny wanted. His offense is supposed to be pass, get the good shot.
When we win or we're in games, we're sharing the ball. I can tell that we got beat by 30 because we had 5 assists on 25 made baskets. They're playing one-on-one basket. You're playing that's street ball, but just like pickup games in the gym. That's what happens there. Is people want to try to score as many points as they can.
Absolutely. Adam says he'll take shirts. I just can't. Maybe he's a guy. Maybe we talked about Sky and his offensive IQ. Maybe Shirts is just a guy that has the IQ, but that has not had the talent to execute that at a high level. So I won't take Shirts. Somebody asked me, said that they didn't hear the whole list. That Scott Drew, Mick Cronin, John Shirts, and Steve Rummage has banned me from saying Will Wade as the fourth. Adam says he'll take Shirts, or heck, just give it to Nolan. Isaiah Kelly, my guy AK, wants to know Rummage. These 939 guys always hop in here and try to take over our shows. Rummage, if you had to pick, who do you think they'll hire? That's a great question because I think Shirts sounds too much like Sharts. And Shawn, that's the sound you made on my back porch the one day when that girl tried to hug you and you messed up the handshake. You definitely sharted on my back porch. You hadn't cleaned it up yet either. That's messed up.
I don't know if I want Mike Cronin though.
He didn't clean himself up afterwards. What?
Did you just say Mike Cronin?
Yeah.
Mike Cronin. Yeah.
Oh, that's Shawn's new alias, Mike Cronin on here. Why isn't Tang on that list? I don't know. He was on one of the guys' list, but he was very low on that list. I don't know if it's his age or the lack of. I think he's only been the head coach. Steve was telling me this is only his second season. Maybe it's inexperience. We tried the inexperience thing, failed miserably. Three Shades wants to know, who does Indiana State play? All that might work versus teams that don't have talent. Again, Three Shades, I respect that opinion, but also if he's not had the talent to execute his greatness, maybe there's a shot that he could do that on a high level.
There's levels to that too, because
there's levels to this.
If you're in mid-major, you can have the cream de la cream of mid-major talent, and you're showing they were. I know they were ranked a little bit earlier in the season, but if you can do it with division, like the lower end of division, I forget where he was before Indiana State, but was it Georgia State?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But y'all know what I'm saying. Like, you have levels of that talent, and it appears that he has maximized the talent of the players that he has had, and he's had success. And he's got head coaching experience. That's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
He's got the experience. He knows how to. It's just like running a business, man. Like, he knows how to run the business.
He's got college head coaching experience.
Correct.
Too, because what we're seeing is you're seeing some guys come down from the NBA down to college and it's not worked.
Right. Or
like Fred Hoiberg, Mike Woodson.
We got some echo.
Yeah, had a little bit of echo there.
Just go in the weight room.
Yeah,
no.
But yeah,
he came up from D2, and the fact that he resurrected Indiana State for the first time in 30 years, that's not a small feat.
No,
absolutely. Brandon Johnson says, Louisville fans, go all follow Josh Hart if you aren't already, and then go follow Will Wade. And I guess he's wanting everybody to hashtag Wade Brigade so we can change Josh's algorithm on Twitter. BJ Byers says Drew and Cronin. Did I miss the third guy? Yeah, it's Sharts. Three Shades Media says, let's be real, players couldn't hit shots wide open. Making shots opens everything else up.
But that's still part of coaching, though.
Yeah. In your opinion, how much influence will donors have on the pick? I think a lot. I really do. Justin Weldy says, I'll take any of the four of them in order. His choices would be Drew, then Wade, then Schertz, then Cronin. Tanner called Shawn mid-Cronin. That's crazy. That's funny. I wouldn't be upset with Schertz, said John V. Isaiah wants, I don't get why Tang isn't at least an option. I think he'd be a great number 2. Brandon called him mid-Cronin. I like that. How do you think players on this current roster will respond to a coach that has never coached talent? Great question. And the answer to that is you won't know till he gets here. Tanner says he'd take Tang and Schertz over Cronin. I would take a fork to the eyeball over. He was such a jerk to me personally when he was here the last time. And I know you're saying, well, you're putting personal feelings into it. Yeah, I don't want a douchebag here. And I know people douchebag on their own time, but it is what it is. Justin Welty says they're 28-5 now, Indiana State, and their star player, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, is a hoss. Reminds me a lot of somebody else I know. Oh, probably me. T. Will says I would take Dusty May over May. I wouldn't take a dusty ass over Dusty May. Excuse my language.
I want to say one more thing after you get caught up.
Charles Wimpy, it's a shame about Huggins. Can flat out coach. Yeah. Agreed. T. Will, I'm not for Indiana State head coach. I'd rather have Drake's coach instead. Schertz, not Sharts. Holy F. LOL from Brandon. Yeah. Schertz is down 14 points at halftime, by the way. They just may not have the talent. Again, they may not have the talent there to be able to execute his game plan. And Babu says, I like the idea of the Indiana State guy. Fun style of play, save money and spend money for 3 great recruiters. I agree. Look, this is where we normally say it's halftime to talk about our great sponsors. It's where we are at the end of the road, Boys to Men voice. We do want to give a shout out to our guy George at Bear Nose on Market. Market yesterday showed great hospitality to us.
Absolutely.
Great food, great staff. And you all, we went live. I'm not going to say the numbers. We went live for 10 minutes from Bear Nose as I'm looking at the pizza, getting y'all ready for last night's game. And we had thousands of people that tuned in to watch that little 10-minute clip. We might need to do more of those, but we appreciate all y'all's love and support. And he did as well, took notice of it. So you all may have helped us get a second sponsorship from them. We appreciate it. We're going to go out and meet with George later this week for lunch. One day, Joey, whenever you're off work, we'll head out there and grab something to eat.
I'm off work every day now. I got bamboozled.
Oh, that's right. Joey's company moved to Mexico and you got laid off.
Yeah.
What laid off means after the show.
Different kind of laid off.
Yeah. Denny was true. Our guy Lee from Orlando, Denny was an assistant, as Shawn mentioned earlier, with no head coaching experience before he got here. You just never know. And you also don't want to put that on him from day one. You don't want to say, hey, he's the next Denny, because then everybody's going to expect for him to win.
Denny also was an assistant coach to
he was. Yeah, in the John Wooden tree.
Yeah, he was also an assistant to the GOAT and had some pretty good talent come through there.
A little bit. The actual Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and stuff. But Barnell's on market. George, great dude, great people, great food, great service. Make sure, not just for Louisville stuff, but anytime they have a concert, it's right across the street, catty-cornered. It's right across the street from the old spaghetti factory and about a 2-minute walk from the Yum Center. Concerts, movie night. They have the movie night.
The garage right behind it.
The parking garage is right behind it. It's easy to get to. I don't know if anybody can get into that parking garage, but I think it's an exclusive garage. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to leave it the way I said it because it makes me sound more important. It's an exclusive garage that only I can get it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think so. Joey from Twitter, I don't think Muss or Oats is an option. I'm not saying they couldn't be. I'm just saying they weren't on any of the lists that I got yesterday. Fitness Market, our guys Chris and Sarah, our guy Chris and his wife Sarah out there giving you the best in fitness equipment in the country. We're going to go out and get us a new treadmill here in a couple of weeks, hopefully. We still have our Fitness Market credit card. It's paid all the way off. We're going to throw that treadmill on there, pay it off again. They have plenty of financial options and offerings to help you get the dream piece of equipment in your home. It's Fitness Market. Give them a call. Tell them Cardinal Sports Zone sent you. Four Pegs Beer and what's they kind of rebranded
Smokehouse or something, I think.
Beer and Craft House, isn't it? Is that what it is?
Beer and Smokehouse.
They've rebranded it, and I didn't update it. And Higgy's fired, y'all. We are like almost 2 hours prior after starting the show, and he still hasn't done his part of the show yet. So blame the lack of information about the other sports.
Smokehouse and Bar.
Smokehouse and Bar.
That's what I said. You said bar and smokehouse, and
okay.
I said smokehouse.
No, I didn't say you were incorrect. That's what it is. Indiana State is playing Drake right now in the MVC Tournament Championship. Okay. Might as well get Davenport, says Three Shades.
Indiana State's getting in either way. So.
Wildcat Alley, that is our cousin Jonathan. Why not Bruce Pearl? Don't know. I can't tell you why he's not on the list.
He was on the list with when Kenny was hired, and then he got a big bag to stay there.
Yeah, I don't think he was ever on. He was on the fans list. I think he put his name out there to get that big bag from where he was. I don't think he was ever legitimately
Smart guy.
An option, but he did what he had to do to get more money.
I'm on the list now.
Joey, you're on. Joey's on the list.
I'm trying to scare a bag from somebody.
Okay, that's fair enough. Robbie Doe said, "I wish I would have known. Just went to the old spaghetti factory before the game, bro. We were eating right across the street from you at Barnell's, and I made that well known on all social media avenues. You should have come over and said hi. We would have all liked to. I've met you before, but the rest of the guys would have loved to have met the legend that is Robbie Doe, the day one Cardinal Sports CSZ superstar. But to answer you, Jonathan, why not Bruce Pearl? He's just not on.
And then he said UofL's way better job than Auburn, and I agree.
I don't disagree with it. And shout out to Jonathan. Jonathan brought my baby cousin, his daughter, Carrie Ann, and his dad, another one of my favorite people. Honestly, probably one of the most impressive basketball families I know. You got the dad.
They are the basketball family of Evans County.
Yes.
For sure.
You got the dad who Uncle Eddie's probably scored 2,000 points in his high school career. Jonathan scored between the two schools, scored about the same amount. I want them to put together. Jonathan, I know you don't have anything else to do in Edmonson County but tip over cows and take your shoes and socks off and stand out in the grass. But what I want you to do
this morning, Jonathan.
What I want you to do is put me together a all-time point scored list with Uncle Eddie's name and his points, and then your name and your points. If it's above his, put your name above, and then I want to see Carrie Ann's underneath, and I want to keep up with how many points until she eclipses both of you all, which she will.
I also want to see Jonathan put on his list how many technical fouls he had.
I want to see Jonathan put on his list how many times.
Set taps or.
I want to see how many. Funny you say that. I want to see how many times that when he was in the free throw lane and he was going for a rebound, he gave the whole. What's the capital of Thailand?
Oh yeah, no, he didn't give no warning.
And then got the rebound. So
He
yeah.
get tripped and then hold their ankle and then sack tap them and then they go down.
Listen, I know it sounds like I'm partial because he's my cousin. Jonathan was one of the most impressive high school basketball players I've ever seen, because not only was he physically bigger than everybody else, but mentally he knew what to do to get if he had somebody that was bigger than him, he knew he had that dog. But thank you all for coming up and hanging out with us yesterday at the game. Louisville's not their team. They live far, far away from Louisville, but they love basketball. So they come up. They enjoyed their time. They were going to come and eat food with us before the game, but Carrie Ann had her AAU tryouts. She's going to be playing, I think, Jonathan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but she's going to be playing up in Louisville this summer a lot. So I'll be asking y'all to come out to the games and watch that. I know she's playing in the Run of the Roses AAU tournament. And some other, Jonathan, put that information in the chat. We will tout her out here. Well, thank you. I'm glad you loved it. I'm sorry the results weren't that well, and I'm sorry those people kept making y'all stand up and down 50 times during the game. But glad y'all had a good time. Collision course. Yeah, this one. I thought the dude that was like you were in his seat, and then I showed him my ticket, and we both had it. To be fair, this dude had the same seat and ticket that we did.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, "You're in the wrong seat." And Joey's like,
he crammed his phone right in my face. It was like, "I need you to get up. You're in my seat." I'm like, "No, I'm not." Yeah, you are. I said, "Joey, we got seat 9."
And then I pointed my phone in his face. I said, "No, we're not."
And then I looked around. And come on, let's be real.
There were 15 seats on those sides.
It didn't even matter if it was right there next to us or not. There were open seats, bro.
Yep.
Like, why are you so worried about it? Like, we were kind of catty corner. There were so many seats, like, I'm going to call it mid-court, 50-yard line, on the same, like, level. Like, why didn't you? I just walked over there.
So on the TV side, it was pretty full. On the side we were on.
Yeah.
Except for that one row that y'all were in
the middle.
And the seats there. Now, on the non-TV side, it was spotty, but the crowd was great yesterday. Appreciate everybody. I saw some reports that people were heckling KP on the way out. I didn't see that. I didn't hear it myself. I'm not saying they didn't. Maybe it was somebody that just really quickly was like, "KP sucks," and then ran off.
No, I didn't hear that.
None of us heard anything. Jeff, you were there because Jeff commandeered the first 2 seats of the row in the section. Jeff was sitting courtside yesterday. Advertently, so illegally. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe, like I said in the chat, maybe once he got down to the other end of the court, because I've seen BC players and their family and fans down there. Maybe somebody said something down there, but I didn't hear anything directed to Kenny other than he walked through. People clapped.
People were clapping when he come back out.
He walked through, and then yes, there were players over in that section where we were that were visibly distraught with their family, with their friends.
You know who broke my heart?
Nobody was saying a bad word about anybody that I heard of.
You know who broke my heart? Mike James, because he sat down with his mom and his grandma. He was trying to stay up and sign all the autographs for the little kids, and he sat down next to his mom and his grandma, and he burst into tears. And Mike's a good dude. Y'all know he's been on our show before. He was also on the Louisville live stream with me once before. Such an amazing human being. I felt horribly for him. I went over and tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, Mike, we all love you. We appreciate everything you've done here. Keep your head up." So it is what it is. Jonathan says her team's called Kentuckiana AAU. Should be playing a lot here this summer. We're actually going to take her to shoot 360 between AAU games and get her some personalized professional training from our guy Payne Siva and the crew there. I know she's excited for that. As soon as I love my family down there to death, and I'm so glad that something like the show, I've told you all before, he's got his own show. It'll be on at 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Wildcat Alley. It normally puts the spotlight on 3rd Region, and I think it's the 16th District. I may be wrong. Jonathan will correct me. He's loved to do that for 30-something years. But great show. He's got a monopoly on that area. Kind of got a chokehold on the area down there. Everybody down there tunes in right before they milk their cows and they pull their tobacco out of the fields. Just not playing. But yeah, support them. Support everybody. Look, we got a lot of people who are trying to start their shows and stuff up, like Wes and his guy and Jeff and the squad over at Power 10. They're trying to get things off the ground. It's been a long time since we had a new show on the horizon. They're doing that. They're getting some love on the spaces. So if you're into spaces, do that. Tap in. You'll have a good time. but the thoughts and words of the Power 10 are not necessarily reflected by Jeremy Wahman, Wes Keyes, Joe Wahman, Shawn Barber, or no, I'm just kidding. No, it is definitely how like do what?
Disclaimer,
yeah. So there are some people that like to listen to a guy like Pat McAfee because he's a little more edgier, uncensored, and stuff like that. Power 10 is edgy and uncensored. Now that might not translate into sponsorships right away, but once people see that they're doing this for a consistent time frame, I think people will fall in love with it because you got a whole bunch of different personalities. Do y'all have any UK guys in that Power 10, or is it all Louisville?
All Louisville, but
other than Bell.
Yeah, I was about to say he's the even keeled guy.
Didn't you? What was your nickname for? I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to get you in trouble.
I'm not going to say it.
No, not going to say it. Hey, throw the flag on yourself because you thought it.
Okay.
Babu says, cheer up, Card Nation. Spring football is coming. Yeah. Support the local stuff. Whether you think it's a big deal or not, that one listen would mean the world to them. And it could help them be the difference between not getting a sponsor and getting a sponsor. So if you like to hear about sports, if you like to hear people just shoot it like we do it in a clean manner. Trust me, if we could do this uncensored, the sky would be the limit.
I would be the number one podcast person in the state if you could do it.
You'll be the number one podcast co-host in the state. That's absolutely true.
You'd have to be my co-host on that
No,
one.
absolutely.
Come on, Edgy.
Listen.
Come on, bruh.
I can say stuff. Listen, I can't. No, I'm kidding.
Look at that.
Again, I don't know if it bleeps it for the video people, but the sound effect of it is absolutely amazing. Almost time, spring. April 19th is a spring game, and these guys, I don't know if they're setting anything up or not yet. Joe, you could probably get that information quicker than me. The Collision Course crew tailgating people there.
Yes.
It's almost time. It's behind the El Nepal. Over there, it used to be the Cardinal Hall of Fame Cafe. Shout out to our guys, Bill, Garrett, Rhino, Craig, and what's the guy?
Curtis.
He's a UK fan dressed in U of L clothing, so I never can remember. I'm sorry, Curtis. I just know you as UK fan, to be honest. Just like you probably know me as fat white guy. I don't know. Shout out to them. Get out there. They have a great time, great food, great company, and we do our podcast there every once in a while. So tap into that. Have a good time. Cherry Picking, owned by our friends Nolan and Sydney Smith. It's a hoops-themed cold-pressed juice and smoothie bar inspiring you to take what's good. It is conveniently located at 828 East Main Street behind the local Seltzery. Tell them CSZ sent you for 15% off your order. That's just family stuff. We love them. They love us. I mean, every time any of them see, like, I'm closer to them than Joey is, but every time they see Joey, they just make a big deal about it. What's up, handsome? Oh, we love you. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And Joey is handsome, I guess, to females. Maybe.
Hey, can you block this dude?
Who?
Alexander B.
Oh, no, I'm not going to. Hey, Alexander, how does it feel to be the biggest joke of all the U of L media members? Well, here's what it feels like. Why don't you just ask your mom? How about that?
And GFY.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Tell me why you know what? We're going to give him a little bit of a platform, and then because we're fair to everybody, right? Mike says he's got a podcast question. Mike will get one of our first sponsors of the actual show on 939. Alexander, explain to me how I'm a joke because I supported Kenny. It didn't work out. I don't apologize for that. I thought it would. We had no other options.
Tell him he's telling lies.
Listen, why don't you tell me when more than 5 or 6 people follow you? And why don't you tell me when you have a show that does hundreds of thousands of listens on iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff. And really quick, Alexander,
come at me, bro.
No, we're not going to do that because
I don't care. I don't have sponsors.
No, you don't, but I do. So we're going to go ahead.
I can separate myself for a while. I'll give myself a show cause.
Fair.
What's it called?
But hey, by the way, real quick, Alexander, Sam wants you to ask your mom how his Slim Jim tastes, and you're blocked. Go ahead, Sam.
46 listeners, dude. There's 46 at one time, but you have no clue. That's just this chat, dude. There's like 80 avenues that you can log on to the podcast.
Well, it showed.
Go wash your underwear.
Who said that?
The same dude.
Oh, I already blocked him, so I don't see it. You see it?
You have like 3 people trying to get in your back door right now, loser. And I don't mean your door. I don't mean your house.
Pause.
Listen, our sister Shannon. Shannon Hughes, what's good?
Yeah, don't get me hyped up on the
Larry Whitaker, Sean Bird, Nick Ader, appreciate all of you all.
Because the Lord will forgive me.
And listen, we don't have a huge following on Facebook. So yeah, there may not be that many, but I can tell you the number.
And as you said earlier, most people prefer to listen like Bill Jones. He don't get to listen live, but he puts it on when he's driving back and forth from Chicago to Chicago. That's where it's all made. So
I shouldn't even
understand the business, bruh.
Listen, you all can come around here and see how many listeners we have.
It doesn't even matter to me.
We are well into the
thousands. If he's that worried about it, then why are you even logging on?
Right. Don't even. It is what it is. We shouldn't have even given. I just was feeling feisty.
I was getting all night upsets me. It pees me off.
I don't care because at the end of the day, nobody knows who that guy is. So, Chad Rocky says. Alexander has to be the guy who badmouths you on Cardinal authority every time after you have a show. That's fine. Oh, he won't be able to watch it anymore because I just blocked him.
He likes Wiener.
Joey is savage, says Cardon. I'm trying to ignore what Joey just said.
Sorry.
Isaiah Kelly, IK says, you're doing something right when you have haters. Love what y'all are doing. Look, we have never claimed to be the sports center of Louisville media. We are here to share our insights. I have connections. Everybody's got connections here. Except for Shawn. Joey connects with females. Shawn does not.
Well, I have a connection. His name's Jerry Wander.
Fair. Very fair. So I normally don't let stuff like that get to me, but there's always some people that don't like you. For all we know, there's one person in the Louisville media that absolutely hates me because I would never share any information with them. It could be that guy's burner account.
I got 2 people in mind of who it probably is.
Right.
Or it could be.
Yeah, fair enough. But we will not acknowledge them because they're douche canoes. Sam, really quickly, well, not real quickly, take as much time as you want. Give us an update. Of course, the women's Cardinal, and sorry we took so much time up on men's basketball. Just a lot to talk about. Wes threw the flag again. Dude's a troll. Catch us up on everything that is women's basketball and who we faced. We're done with the ACC tournament. We're waiting for the tournament selection for them. So there's no.
Why do they wait so long?
I don't know. I don't know why they start a week before the men's do, other than the fact that maybe they use some of the same employees to work both tournaments. So maybe it's easier.
But that's the thing. The conference tournaments are wrapping up this weekend for the women, correct? Or does it go? No,
today.
Theirs go
Today. No.
Okay. So why isn't their selection show tonight instead of? No, it's not. It's the Monday after the men's.
It's not. It's next week.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't understand. I was thinking about that yesterday. I don't understand why you get a Sunday night prime time that you can do the women's instead of doing it on Monday nights.
Maybe it's just because, like I said, they've got the same officials working both tournaments.
But the men's tournament ain't until next weekend.
I know, but the women's was this week, so they got to use those same employees to do that. And maybe some of those, I don't know. I have no idea.
I doubt they have the same committees picking.
Well, no, not the same committees, but like maybe some of the same employees are on each. I don't know. It don't make any sense. But at the end of the day, like I said, we are not the sports center of Louisville media.
Give them some shout on a Sunday night.
We get on here, we share our opinions, we share our thoughts. We let you all know what people like Nolan Smith and Kenny Payne are telling us behind the scenes. And we share what they tell us we can. We hope you all love it. We hope you appreciate it. Some people are not going to appreciate it, and that's fine, because I can guarantee you, out of the thousands of the rocks. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry,
Joey didn't catch on to it.
No, he said it. He caught it.
I didn't even hear him.
That's because he said it kind of low.
You got a Yankees hat on, loser. I'm just kidding. I'm proud of now.
Yeah, Joey's level 5 heated in here, but it's okay.
Alexander B catching these hands later if he wants to.
Alexander B getting some nut. Never mind. Throw the flag. Throw the flag.
You stopped at the wrong part.
Drug across his forehead. Sorry. Done. But look, we love y'all and appreciate y'all. Whatever y'all want us to do for y'all, we're going to do it. Again, we've been around for 13 years. We're in year 2. I think we have our anniversary coming up next week of 2 years on the streaming side. We've been doing the podcast and radio stuff here in Louisville for 13 years combined. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We know not all y'all are going to love us, and that's fine. But we are some of the most genuine people here in the city. We like to have a good time. We like to talk about Cardinal athletics. If you don't like what we're saying, it's really easy. There's an X button in the top right-hand corner of your browser. If you're on the computer, you can back out on your phone. As you can see, we got enough brands right here that have faith in us and that know us. You can walk up to anybody who's important in Louisville basketball history, high school or college-wise. They know who we are. Pro side, they know who we are. So, and we try to keep it real, but with a twinge of positivity, because there's enough negativity on the air during the day. We like to try to keep things light and keep things fun. So
that's why I'm here.
That's why Joey's here.
Every once in a while, I'll throw out a fact.
And Shawn's here to keep all the bad guys away because he's a great goalie. He makes sure nothing ever hits the net, but he did not.
And Sam is a realist.
Sam is the cranky old man out on the front yard with his cane,
empty all the time,
telling people to get off his Miami yard. That's what he does. But we all add a little bit different. Like Sam is the Jeremy. You make a great point, but I hate it. And he's the guy that argues. And Joey's the humor. Shawn is your intellectual facts. I don't know what Wes's part is yet because he's fairly new, but he'll work. He throws the flags.
Yeah.
He keeps everybody in line.
And I'm the QB. So if you don't like it, just don't tune in. There's no need for you to try to come at me because I'll tell you one thing. You would not walk up to my face and say any of the brave things, Alexander B's nuts, that you say.
Alexander likes all these.
Stop it.
Then we got 2 words for you.
Yes, click out. That's our 2 words.
I got 3 letters for you.
Joey's got 3 letters for you.
GFY.
Stop it. But
that's gonna be the name of my podcast, guys. So be looking for that in the summer of 2024.
Here we go. So really, really quickly, and then we're going to end the show because once again we started the show, had so much interaction with you all that we're at an hour and 40 on the show, and we love that. We appreciate it. We'll talk as long as y'all want us to. Shoot 360, a premier state-of-the-art basketball training facility with highly skilled trainers. Peyton Siva is one of the owners. Call 515-6556. Sign up for the women's clinic coming up on March 23rd. And if you go to shoot360.com, you can pre-register for a free workout and tour. And last but not least, they are the title sponsor of the text line, Mossy Oak Realty and Hart Properties. If you're in the market to buy or sell farms, land, recreational or residential areas in the state of Kentucky, let Paul or one of his team of professionals at Mossy Oak and Hart Realty help you with your buying and selling needs. Call Paul at 270-537-4422 or email him at mossyoakproperties.com. Mossy Oak, we know land. All right, got all the sponsors out of the way. Sam, I cut you off because Joey started getting angry about the troll. Daniel Spencer says his pain is almost over. No, it is over. I thought you got that ointment last week. But Sam, go ahead and wrap up the women's basketball talk real quick.
No.
Oh, Shawn. I forgot Shawn's sitting right here. Sorry.
But now we suffered 2 heartbreaking 2 losses to Notre Dame. And Shawn's not even saying anything. Like, Shawn, say something, dude.
Okay. He's a ventriloquist now.
Paul.
That was great. That was good. I needed that.
So you have nothing to say, Shawn. Nothing.
No, he don't. He don't.
You know, all he can do is take it. Pause.
Stop. Where's the flag? I don't have a flag. But go ahead, Sam. Go ahead and wrap up women's basketball, and we'll hop on out of here because no, Higgy, don't send me. No, Higgy, don't send me the rapid fire right now. The show was supposed to be over 40 minutes ago. You big.
No, Sam, go ahead.
Mother lover.
Yeah,
go ahead,
but the tournament starts. The selection show is going to be next week. Louisville's probably most likely going to be a 5th or 6th seed. They didn't do themselves any favor in terms of ACC seeding and NCAA seedings with the loss to Virginia and then that horrible loss to Syracuse. And then they just didn't play well against Notre Dame. Like, granted, they played the day before, but had they had won in Notre Dame in the season finale, those roles would have been reversed, and they would have got the double bye, and Notre Dame would have been the 5th seed. That didn't happen that way, but like Coach Wall said, they're going to go ahead and practice for the next week and a half, get some things clear, and probably define some more rules and drill some things into the minds of these young ladies to where every possession matters now. Everything is amplified, and let's look to see if they can make a deep tournament run. He said it early in the year that this team could make it to the Sweet 16 Elite 8, or they could just not make it past the first round of the tournament. Let's hope it's the latter. I do not want to see this team bounce early, but it is what it is right now. But looking forward to an exciting and WNBA NCAA women's basketball tournament.
Absolutely. James Garland says Shawn's still looking for a date. Shawn, James, I can confirm Shawn has a calendar in front of him right now and still can't find a date. That's how naive that he is. Shawn, let me have my phone right back. So that was the whole prop for the joke. Look, I want to touch on baseball just a little bit. The season series versus Northwestern, it ended with 2 wins for us, 1 win for them. The Cardinals did start in every game scoring versus Northwestern in the 5th inning. This series, I believe, is the measuring stick for this program because Northwestern is a low-end to middle-of-the-pack team there. It will be interesting this week with 5 games at home this week, which all of the Lipscomb games are free Tuesday and Wednesday. Virginia Tech, I think they've started charging for conference games, so I don't believe it is free. But get out to Jim Patterson Stadium and enjoy the free baseball as the Cards have the next 11 at home. Actually, that would be -4 because that was last week's script. Only the Virginia Tech series and only the ACC, IU, and UK games cost, so keep that in mind. Rapid Fire Spring Football is April 19th. You know what? I'm not going to read I'm not going to read Higgy's stuff. Again, remember, Jonathan Wildcat Alley, his Twitter is @the Wildcat Alley. If you're just going to tweet him ignorant stuff, just don't follow him. But if you want to, again, 3rd region, 16th district, I believe, coverage, they're doing stuff. Again, we had a great visit with them. All the family is going to be up here this summer. It's going to be a really good time. I'm very excited for that. Make sure you're supporting our photographers, Jeff Nunn, TJ Barr, and Justin Kruger. They are bar none, no pun intended, but pun intended, the best in the business, in my opinion. Again, shout out to all of our fine sponsors. And then we'll get back to the chat line. Bare Nose Fitness Market, 4 Pegs, the Collision Course Crew, Tailgaters, Cherry Picker, Shoot 360, and Mossy Oaks. If you would like to sponsor the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, bottom left-hand corner is how you can do that. If you want to piss and moan about me personally, go to the message boards where nobody who has ever touched a woman goes. No offense to the people.
I don't even know what they are. So.
Right. No offense to the people that actually have that I like. That comment was targeted towards the one troll earlier, which, by the way, first troll of the year. Got the first troll. Everybody else knows that we spread love and stuff. So, biggest joke. Well, first off, if I'm the biggest joke in Louisville media, that means you consider me local media, which I'm not. We are friends we have a website. We are doing a show. We have access, but we're not a Bozich. We're not a Crawford. We're not, we're not even a Dominic Yates, who is one of the best in the business right now. We're doing this for fun. We are doing this. Well, we do it for sponsorship, and we're having a good time. And I'm sorry, the McDonald's you work at put some diarrhea in your milkshake this week, but go ahead, suck it on down, pause, and build you a bridge and get over it. On social media, you can find us at all these great places that are underneath Wes Keyes right now as he throws multiple flags at the same time. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, underneath Joey and Shawn's. How you can, if you don't do it in the YouTube chats, you can support us monetarily on those things right there that Joey's pointing at. We appreciate our love and support. This was our first week on Roku, kysports.co. Or actually, I think the app is called KY Sports Plus. Download it. You pay a monthly subscription. that helps us out too. So if you don't want to do the Cash App and that, and you don't want to do the YouTube donations, sign up for KY Sports. We're first of many people they're going to add on there. Great idea. Love it. Support us that way. They'll send a dividend check every month. It is what it is. You can find it if you like listening. Like the majority of the people love to listen instead of watch us, which I can understand when you've got
Shawn's face on the screen.
Shawn's face on the screen. Was my hand visible? I can't see because I'm reading on the script. Can y'all see my hand?
What's delayed on YouTube?
Okay. Well, I don't know if you could or not. If you could, that's the reason why a lot of people like to listen instead of tuning into the video version. But no, you can find that podcast on all the podcast avenues, over 125 in all. Apple, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google, Amazon, iHeart. Hit subscribe, follow, like, heart, plus whatever Shawn does on the weekends, stalk, whatever you got to do to get this show automatically downloaded into the show. Indiana State making a comeback. Make sure that you get the show. You find us on one of those avenues. Have the episodes downloaded directly to your device to listen to it at your leisure. If you haven't listened to all the other 202 episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, don't worry. You can go back and check them all out on any of those avenues that I spoke to you about before. Or you can go to cardinalsportszone.com, the place it all began. Hit the podcast drop-down menu. I still need to do some maintenance on that this week because the ESPN has pulled all of the CSZ on 93.9 episodes off their server, I guess, to make room for new stuff. No hard feelings. But the CSZ podcast and the Live with 55 tab, even though the newer episodes of Live with 55 aren't on there, the older ones are. If you want to take a trip down memory lane, click it. Great times, great people. Shout out to everybody out there who's sharing the podcast. We appreciate, love you guys. And I'm definitely obligated to say this since Moneybags Maven was on the show, but I say this every week. Make sure you tune in Monday through Friday from 10 to noon on ESPN 93.9 The Ville for Marcus and Steve, Middays with Maven, doing the Lord's work on ESPN 93.9 The Ville. Stay tuned to our social media and subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook to be alerted anytime we go live. We prefer you to do that on YouTube, but it is what it is. And for me, just a few weeks left of the regular season. The weekly CSZ podcast will be stretched from that point forward, barring an unprecedented run to the ACC title. We'll come to you all bi-weekly or as stories or press that issue. If there's a coaching search or when there's a coaching search, when all that stuff, just keep the notifications turned on for YouTube and Facebook. Or you can subscribe to my tweets to keep up, but I tweet a lot. Do that at your own risk. Also tune in for Live with 55, which comes to you every Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It just depends on how busy we are that week. We don't have a set date for that. But for any updates throughout the week between the Sunday shows, Wes, I might have to find Higgy or replace. And myself, Wes, and Tanner, maybe Higgy, if I reinstate him, will join you for that. Stay subscribed. It's a great time. Dom Yates and Nolan Smith are in the batter's box. You all will not want to miss those guys. Payne has been relieved. I do still want to give a big shout out to Kenny Payne. And I'm excited that Nolan will be able to come out in the upcoming weeks, if he so chooses to, and vindicate himself. Because we all know, all of us here know, there's some stuff that has led to him not being able to be full Nolan.
And he does have that newsletter coming
Smith.
too.
Do what?
The newsletter.
The newsletter, which he got crucified for putting out, even though it got launched. Now that wasn't supposed to be launched then. That was a PR error. It just accidentally got launched early. That's the story I'm sticking to. However, he's got exciting stuff on the horizon. Will he or won't he be retained by the next staff? Well, we got to get a next coach first, so we'll see. Excited about all of that. Last words, we're going to go with Sam first, and then we're going to go around the circle like we normally do, head back to the chat line. We're going to wrap this up because we are getting very, very close to 2 hours, and that's something we never want to do, but we appreciate it.
Be real simple, young man. The pain is over. Go Cards.
All right, Shawn.
It's coaching search season.
Okay.
Needs to be woman search season, but anyway.
Before you go, Joey, really quickly, Rick Bozich, respected media member here in the city of Louisville, to most.
Not a clown.
Not a clown, tweeted out, Louisville will depart for the ACC men's basketball tournament at 3 p.m. Monday, not expecting any word on Kenny Payne's future today, which we kind of alluded to earlier. That's how we feel.
No, they'll wait
as well.
They'll wait till Friday, probably. The Friday media dump.
But go ahead, Joe, your last words
Oh,
for
I
the
mean,
week.
everybody knows mine, you know.
GFY?
Well, GFY, but Maryland sucks. Have your pet spayed or neutered, and somebody, for the love of God, let's find Shawn a woman.
Look, Shawn,
24.
you know what? Let's ask Shawn before we get everybody else's final thoughts. Oh, his final thoughts are next. No, he gave
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Sorry, I was doing post. Yeah, I remember now. I'm literally, as you all talk, I'm trying to wrap up stuff on the other side too. But if you all know a woman who's in between 20 and 40, breathe.
Whoa.
No.
Yeah, why not?
No, let's go 30 to 45.
Yeah, at least 27. 27 or
30,
lower.
30 to 45.
Listen, I'm thinking big picture. I'm thinking Shawn needs to have some fun. Okay.
Anybody under 30, they yeah.
That's not battery operated. We want to make sure that is.
AI and robots have made a lot of advancements here.
Listen. All right. Wes.
Battery operated is crazy.
Wes, go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put this ticker across the bottom for Shawn. If you know a female that's 28 to 38 and not a blow-up doll that is single, please help us get Shawn a date. Wes, we need your final thoughts. I didn't just do that. That has been in the database for quite a long time.
Yeah, I was just going to say pretty much the same thing Shawn said. It's search season, so let the chaos ensue.
All right, guys, look, it is a tie ball game between Drake and Indiana State, says Chad Brocky and Alex and all of them. We appreciate all of y'all. At the end of the day, it's go Cards. Whether you like me, you don't like me, it is what it is. I don't care. I still get paid. We still do have a great time. We still have fun. Thanks again for all the support. We love you all. Until next time, this has been the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. Or should I say until next time, from Jeremy, from Sam the Hat Collector, from Shawn the Virgo, Joe Wahman, Wes Keyes. This has been the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. No, he needs a GoFundMe page. No, he needs a Go something page, but it's not fund. I believe it.
Yeah, it's an F word, all right, but it's not fun.